welcome to TobagoConnect. This is the program where we connect with all you folks out there, and we talk about some of the things happening here in Tobago. We are in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, and of course, today I have a very special guest. This is a very special man and an icon in the entertainment world. I want to welcome today Mr. Michael Baker. And Michael, today I'm going to call him Baker because everybody say Baker. Today I really want to say it's a pleasure to have you here with me. And we're going to be talking music, entertainment, tourism. We're going to try to see how much we can talk within this 1 hour. That's a lot to talk. So first off, I want you to tell us, how did you get involved in music and entertainment? What was the start?
Well, through the years, as far as my memory can take me back, senior citizen days I haven't too long. I can remember that we were afraid of getting licks at home. And many times when you get licks, the noise that comes out, very high frequency. So that when it comes a time for you to sing a song or anything like that, your vocals are already tuned. I came through a family that was no nonsensical.
Yeah.
You get up in the morning, you have to see about the animals, do your homework, as it were, head off for school in Scarborough, then back to Mount Mary where I used to live. And then in the evening time, you say prayers at school and all this, as it were. And you get back home and you have to mind animals. Again, minding animals in those days, there was no aggression and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So mind pigs, carry bucket of water, go in the bush and collect coconut shells and coconut and thing to make fire. Because in those days, born in 1949, so from about roughly age 9, 10, I started to take on responsibility. 10 of us, brothers and sisters, five each.
Wow.
Yeah, Mom did well. An orchestra of individuals, you see. And so I used to do that, and even in school, Teacher Millard, when I went to the Scarborough Boys School, as it were, used to have the choir. Choir used to sing. They kind of noticed that I had this special flow.
Okay.
I wasn't frightened.
Right.
There's something in me that always makes me want to do what I want to do, that I love to do.
Yes.
Old people say, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And so I kind of like that atmosphere. And so I remember joining the choir and they say, row, row, row your boat, gently down the stream, merrily, merrily, brown girl in the ring, tra-la-la-la-la. Those are little nursery rhymes that we grew up with. And along with that were proverbs, where they tell you every day, bucket I go a well one day, but I'm going to stay there. I hit my titty and my titty hit my back, the pig asked him, but Mommy, how your mouth long? So he said, don't worry about that, come here, come.
Come here, come.
Yeah,
I know them.
Right. So, but for the audience.
Yes.
And all these things is what we do. Then I remember one day, you had music festival.
Right.
Boy. So they decided to ask Baker to lead a group of people in a play. And the name of the play, because I can't forget it, because some things you don't forget in your life, even though you try. The name of the play is The King Who Could Not Laugh. Now Baker never stopped laughing in his life. So that in itself was quite interesting. We went to Queen's Hall, and we did well down there too.
Right.
The Tobago group. Then I started to do a little more singing. I picked up the guitar because Christmas time was a time where you start from the bottom of the village, which is Mount Mary where I live, and up to the top is about 1.5 miles. And whenever there's Christmas, you get tin cup, pan, cutro, guitar, and it's not parang, you're going from house to house. Paranging from house to house. And I just fancied that. I wanted to be part of that. So I took up the guitar. I remember making a whole box guitar out of tin pan with nylon string, not sung in anything, but I know I play guitar like hell.
Right.
And I'm digging. I was going up the village, going from house to house. As a matter of fact, it was the first and only time I got drunk. Because to be part of, you got to do what the others are doing.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't belong. And so I see the boys and them drinking a little rum, punch at that. Chopping me, don't know, but you can't just drink rum without eating something or taking salt,
Right.
to keep the alcohol down. Boy, and so we going from house to house and then drinking and then they say, take one, I taking one too, and I go to the group. When they meet at the top of the hill, I know what a drunk man does see when he walking. When they say going left, going right, very sharply, is the road he trying to keep track with. And there was an incident where somebody realized my disposition and wanted to take away my so-called guitar.
All right.
And last thing I remember is that I hit him with it because you can't take away my guitar, my prized possession. When I wake up the next morning, they won't whoop me. I wake up the next morning, Palos, I realized what happened. I realized, but you could have injured somebody seriously.
Yes.
Never touch no kind of alcohol from that day till now.
Now that's great. That's great.
That and smoking.
Right.
I remember when I was small, Palos, we had the kind of house we live in. They had latrine. I go out in the latrine, see people smoking, and I get fiber from coconut shell. Take the fiber from the coconut shell, wrap it around paper, and I inside the latrine, and I take it my first smoke, want to know what smoke is all about. All of a sudden, I see the door open, and wash out his daddy.
Oh my goodness.
Bucket of water. He turned the latrine on fire because
he see the smoke.
But when he realized what I was
goodness.
doing, cut ass, excuse the term, and never again. From them days to now, that gone. Discipline has a lot to do with individuals.
Yeah. So tell me, because before we were talking, you were telling me about you started now. Carry us forward to your lifeguard.
Fast forward,
yes.
Right. So 1920 all them time. So then I remember they had audition for a lifeguard. Cyril Collier,
Yes.
and other people.
Talked to him last night.
I was the one who fit the bill. Young, just got my badges, etc., etc. And I remember they asking me, look, Baker, we are opening the first beach facility in Tobago, bit of history.
Yes, no, let's talk it.
Yeah, 1969, the 6th of November.
Which beach facility?
Mount Irvin.
Oh, it was Mount Irvin.
Yeah, that's the first and only beach facility in Tobago. And they wanted lifeguard, and they said they couldn't save it because they had cleaners, bar, clean up the scene. So they said, look, if you're inviting people to the beach, you must have a lifeguard.
That's right.
And so they were hell bent on getting a lifeguard. Them days I saw I was strutting her. And they asked me if I liked the job. I think it's $7.97.
It's possible.
Yeah. I was going to George Leacock School at the time, which was, in those days, you either, if you don't make it to high school, you have to do school leaving.
Right,
Typing,
school leaving, that's right.
So I was very good. The school that I went to, I was the only boy in the school because typing and were mostly for girls, typing and shorthand. So I had 90 words going on 100 in shorthand and 50, 60 in typing. I start typing and think from way back when,
Good.
People coming and using computer, no, I don't bother with them. It's like you with your piano, your fingers, of course, I had an old Olivetti typewriter, your hand accustomed to the keys.
Right.
When you playing up, you have to play soft or because the touch sensitive. So my finger was hard and robust. And the nice thing about being in the school is that it was 20 or plus more. All were girls or women, anywhere you want to put it, because we're all young people. I was the only boy. So I had to end up doing all the hard work. But when it comes for the niceties, it's me alone getting all the niceties. And so I had to decide. Continue in that vein, because I wanted to go and do work in the courts,
Yes.
taking information and that, speed writing and all that. Or go to be a lifeguard. So when I told mommy, I think I like the lifeguard because I thought about it, being on the beach, young, powerful, rescuing people. not saving life, that's for the Lord.
You're right.
Lifeguards rescue people and things like that. And
It's a good point.
You're a command of the public in terms of respect and guiding people towards safety and all that. That hit me. And that tells me, look, Baker, never mind what I was aiming for. I didn't have any intention to be a lifeguard, but I like that. So Palos, I went and I talked to mommy. She started crying. Oh God, I bring you up so much years. Look how you're big and you're strong. And you're going to let fish eat you. You're going to drown, you're going dead. Well, so that's so be it. I survived. I retired in 2009 after 40 years. So I survived. I don't know what to come.
No, but I like the story we were talking about when you were with the guitar and you were entertaining people on the beach. That's critical.
That's
Talk about that.
Right? That's embodied in there. So as I've been on the lifeguard, the only lifeguard, I make my own costume and everything, and I've been on the life. I still have the guitar, but that time I had money to buy a guitar.
Right.
So I bought a guitar. Still have it home, you know. A Yamaha, nylon string with steel string on the bass string, I think it's still. I still have it still there in the corner. And I learned because I had the time. People weren't too prevalent at the beach. There was abundance of time. And when I came home, there's nothing much to do. So I played that guitar till my finger got numb. I could have knocked you out with my finger, you know, because by pressing the strings, you get callous, you build up a thing. And so day after day I singing because I love this singing. And I singing. And after a while, the visitors used to come around because I started singing the ever popular songs that you and I both know. We call it bread and butter songs. If you go anywhere from Trinidad and Tobago to work as an artist and you ain't perform them songs, you ain't getting paid, they ain't gonna like you. Because Sparrow and them have all them lovely songs.
Yes.
And you have all with me and Mr. Walker, Portage Trinidad and all that. But it's only when the tourists hear, he said, they just wake up. Like, you know, you're a jumper because somebody surprised you. An island in the sun and Jamaica flavor. And so those were the songs I was singing for them.
The Belafonte influence.
Yes, definitely. And Palos, boy, that thing went on and went on. They started to call me the singing lifeguard because it became a magic. Because when the visitor come to the beach and they leave on evening, they remember the niceties.
Yes.
They remember the hospitality.
Yes.
They remember the kindness. They remember the smile, you see?
Yes.
And the way you treat them. Because many of them was not accustomed to people tell them good morning and evening. When they come from, they pass you, vush. Why you think Americans they say hi? Because if they're going to tell hello, they will think you say go to hell. So they say hi, and they go on their way. We understand to tell people hello.
Baker, what piece of analysis is that? I love it.
But things that I thought of through my years, why is this happening? And those are the kind of response I got from what I saw.
So would you say that the beach, the lifeguard, the beach situation
was a launching pad.
You?
Yes.
That was a launching pad.
Yes.
That prepared you now as an entertainer, not only in the hotel, but certainly in other spaces.
Professional, yes.
Yes, I think that's so. You know, one of the things, Baker, that I think a lot of people don't appreciate about moonlighting. And
I like that, moonlighting.
Yeah, the moonlighting, you know, where we're working. I remember the days working, and you know that, you used to work 7 nights a week.
Yes.
It's
sometimes
tough.
More, 2 nights.
Sometimes correct, 2 performances a night.
And the various hotels.
And really and truly, when you look back, tell us about the passion, tell us about, yes, it was economics, but there was something about the joy of performing and the many experiences that you had. I'll give you 2 and I want you to compare them. I remember once Garth and myself performing, and we were singing My Way, and apparently the song, a lady did not like the song. She came and shouted, "Could you all stop singing that song?" Right in Grafton. I remember that. And I remember another rich lady at Mount Irvin who asked for no entertainment. We had just started. She says, "No entertainment tonight."
Peculiar circumstances.
Or peculiar circumstances. But I'm sure you could tell us, I mean, in your moonlighting, Was it about passion? Was it about money? What was it?
Well, first of all, I have done about 4 major things in my life. Lifeguarding, running the talent scouting competition, doing swimming lessons, and being a lifeguard, you know.
Right.
And of course, Calypso Entertainment. And as far as I can remember, all of them were done by choice, not figuratively, by choice.
Right.
I wanted it to do it. People who got in my way in terms of negativity were pushed aside. I didn't know.
Right.
It's my dream. My dream is not your dream. When you go dead, you go dead. Leave me, let me live my life. You see? And these areas of specificities that we just mentioned, I wanted to do them, and I did them. And I did them my way, like yourself. And I did them well, in my view. Because none of them have brought me any disrepute. None.
Right.
And even in the hotel, there was Robin in Trinidad with his guitar doing the hotel circuits.
Yes.
And Kuso Kid and I in Tobago.
Right. Correct.
And to Fast Wine, we did all the various hotels. Very nice payments. But what was unique about me was my clothes,
Right. Costuming, yes.
sound system, and you're getting non-stop performance.
Right.
And make sure I learn the songs that I have to learn. And when I start, all I want is a glass of ice cold water, straight enough. Because you know if you get burned, what you're putting on it? Hot water or cold water?
Cold water.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I would start to sing 4 or 5 songs, warm water.
But that don't work for everybody.
And I hoarse.
Yeah, okay.
But when I use cold water, I sing down the road, Palos, melodiously coming down the road. And so Kuso and I were doing it. The only two on the island. And then Cats and Jammers and some of the other big steel bands were also along with it. Plus John Cook and the Calypsonian partner, the Benjamin. And those guys were top of the line in those days.
Yes.
Body.
Did Binley do Limbo also?
What? Limbo?
Yeah.
With
because it's like I have that as a memory.
The Saldina was in it. Saldina.
Correct.
Was in a group. I can't remember the group. It's a group, and he was the Kiwani something, and he was the limbo dancer of the group.
Right.
So Binley would have one of those tights where they're using now. Tights where everything they have now was there before.
Yeah.
And you say, get a nice band, put it around so you look like one of the rodeos from the bullfighters.
Right.
You know, the same open chest and thing, tight thing. And Binley would go down on the Coke bottles. Coke bottles.
Yeah. I remember that. I don't know how.
Tropical is where you used to,
probably.
You know, in those days.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember that.
Binley was fantastic. Binley and John Cook. John Cook used to come out as an old man. And as he started to shake up his skin and he started to show vigor and vitality, and eventually take off the thing, and he too had on that tights with just the waistband, kaleidoscope, looking good, macho to be good. And here we go also Limbo on the fire in the Palos. Yeah, fire. Them low position, Coca-Cola bottles, 6 inches, 8 inches.
Yeah.
Fire. They twist the head to the side so because if the head was straight, they couldn't go under the bar.
Yes.
And the instep used to turn sideways.
Right.
When they're traveling on their ankles, kind of how, you know.
So tell me, I mean, Baker, you of course, I mean, there was no way that you saw yourself as always a singer. You saw yourself as an entertainer. Am I right? Or which one you used to classify yourself?
Well, Palos, to be honest
as
with
a singer, as a
because
entertainer?
of the smiling and the atmosphere and everything like that.
Comedy. You also were good at comedy.
I used to give people jokes.
And you ex-tempo too.
And that thing almost capitalized my whole performance. And at one time, people were only calling me to MC.
Correct.
Whereas I was a master of ceremony.
Master of ceremony.
No, people don't understand that. A master of ceremony is the person who is supposed to be. There's an announcer and there's master of ceremony. We must get that straight. Announcer will get a book, like you're reading news and you go to the master of ceremony's job is to manage the show. Where there's a dent, full it up,
Yes.
open it up back up, give a little joke here.
And he also has to be very sensitive to the audience.
Right.
He has to have that art.
Not only that, the catch is you have to equip yourself with some very heavy dynamic hitbacks.
Yes.
So when a man in the audience want to come and take over your show, you have to tell him a few things to
Yes.
let him know that, hey,
It's my
simmer
show.
down. Yes.
It's my show.
Well, not exactly your show. It's their show too. But they just want to take over now.
Yes.
Come up and get up and tell you, oh, you're ugly. Because
Right.
me and I feel get away from that, you know. Yes, you know. One day I had to ask Mommy, look at my sisters and them beautiful and thing. And look at me. And Mommy said, very, you know, off the bat, real quick. He says, son, don't worry. If you're not good looking, you can be looking good. So that's why, that's why you say
that.
some nice things. That and
Baker, you've just given a serious piece of advice
and
there.
joke. Unfortunately, you're not like me, but I met a school friend of mine who recently came off the plane and he says, "But Baker, all the years I know you, we went to school together thing. Look how my hair gray, and look how yours black." So I tell him, partner, listen, I'm born here, I grow here, and I could die here. So I don't die here. Look, so the master of ceremony had to control the show.
No, I agree with you.
And I did that.
That's how I
did
saw you that.
I remember Mr. Neville Miranda from La Tropical
Yes.
taking me one day when he saw me in the hotel at Crown Point, and he said, look, I like your flair. Come and MC my shows for me. Mm-hmm. And so I went to La Tropical, was doing the Saturday night shows, and they had the local guys who adopted the scouting, and they were doing the scouting and sending the winner to Trinidad.
Right.
Just like I was doing in the last leg. And Holly will come up, he told you, from the TDT scouting, and he will come up only for the finals.
Right.
Now when he come up, now I run the show whole time. How much weeks I run the show? When Holly come for the final, I know where I'm wrong, you know. No, I didn't take over the show because that television show there. Take over the show he got. Was his privilege. Not his right, was his privilege.
No,
And,
understandably, you probably the
Right,
producer
so
of the
so
show.
that went and went.
I understand.
And then I remembered, how did Baker break into the Calypso world? You must ask me that.
No. That's where I'm going, actually.
Right.
I
Palos?
want to know not only how you got there, but I also want to talk to you a bit about your songs. Because you had some controversial songs.
Yes, man.
So I want to also touch on some of that. So tell us. Go ahead.
Well, as master of ceremony controlling the show, I remember one year acts back on all those dynamic fellas was singing and thing. Popo, Cypher, local Cypher, and all that kind of thing. And they're singing. But as the MC, I didn't have to audition as such. And when I listen to the songs, I tell myself, Baker, you could do something too, you know.
Do something.
Because you're not just an MC.
Yeah.
So I went home and I wrote two beautiful songs. One of which capitalized or catapulted me into the road march of Tobago. Tobago,
Right, Tobago.
Tobago Road March and the Tobago.
You remember the name of that song?
The bass.
The bass. Okay.
Yeah, yes, man. So I wrote the song and I think and I went to the competition because whenever they don't sing, I had the privilege to sing. So I sang, when the judges came, they select me. Gone in the finals, and I let go the two songs. One, Calypso in those times. One serious Calypso, and one,
and
social commentary.
Yeah.
And a Calypsonian in them time was a Calypsonian. Yeah, I respect the soca and the dub and the reggae. But a Calypsonian was the mouthpiece of the nation. Remember you talk about some critical songs, controversial songs, right? When you made a Calypso in those days, the composition must tell a story. Beginning to end. When you finish, everybody must know exactly what you were talking about. So whether it's humor, road march potential, social commentary, whatever it was, and you singing, your song had to have taste, quality, lyrics, melody. And that's where it went, So I did that and I won the match.
You actually won?
Yes, I won the crown and the road march, Tobago Road March.
What year?
1977.
1977.
I can't remember much, but I remember.
I know you remember that one. Wow.
I remember the fellas coming over and playing. Dum dum dim, a dum dum dim dum dim dum boom dim dum dim dum boom. And the song was all about a tourism.
Okay.
Tourists came to Trinidad and Tobago. Come to Tobago and meet a baker on
Hey,
the beach.
let's clear up something one time as we have this privilege.
Tell me,
Come,
Max.
let me go to Tobago. The amount of people that say that is you know that people do that.
Yes.
I get calls, and could you get on the baker? I need to get the
Yeah. There we go.
right.
There
But
we
that
go.
I think that song because
They're mad. They're totally mad.
yes.
Because I'm
but
just
you
like-
know that you did that song so many times that maybe
No,
this-
Johnny. So, John, respect.
right.
I never performed that song live anywhere.
Really?
All I know is the chorus.
Baker, the amount of persons
Yes.
that have
Yes.
asked me about
Yes.
that song with
You know what
you,
they say? Justice must
but
not
you have
only be
another
done-
song that's close to it.
Yes. That is
Tell us
my,
about
that one is my song.
Which one?
Come discover both of us.
That is
That
it.
is my song.
And people get confused.
And there's
between
another
the two.
one too. When I went to Trinidad to make me fame and things.
Come discover all of us.
Yeah.
Sing that line let me hear.
But before I do that, let me tell you a little story. Many people have their own natural name, and many of them
Right.
have sobriquet name. Sparrow, if you ask the right name, if ancestors like that, they don't know that.
Right.
You have to say Sparrow and Kitchener and all this kind of thing. But David Rudder and
They are the
Marshall
names. They kept
and
the
myself,
names.
I had to switch my name because there was a calypso along the same line that was patriotic that plays all the time. God Bless Our Nation by Lord Baker.
Yes, I know that one too.
Boy.
I know about that
So
too.
that's where the Bacchanal
Yes,
started.
yes.
Now, he lives in the States.
Yes,
I think it's something
correct.
King is his name. You
Yes.
can check on it. But the song was Portrait of Trinidad,
No,
God
we
Bless
have,
Our
to, we have
Nation.
to say what the facts are.
Yes.
So let's talk.
God Bless Our Nation, Portrait of Trinidad were the two big songs early days that used to play Independence time. So when I got to the thing, I said, look, I's Baker, so who is me? So I called myself Lord Baker. But because he stopped. Since he sang that song, I don't think he did anything else.
Right.
So I revitalized the name, revived the
Right.
name. And Lord Baker, and I sing the song, Lord Baker, up and down the place. You see many records with Lord Baker. Until after a while, I get that vexed and I say, look, Baker, you have a birth certificate, username, Michael Baker. You see?
Okay.
So the song now, we like a drop of rain in the ocean.
That's the song, right.
Like a drop in the sea. And all in very best countries have to learn a lesson from we. Where the Negro, the white man, the Chinese, the Indian, we eat together as one. In
Yeah.
this wonderland of Calypso, in this wonderland of steel pan, where I was born. Da 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 da. God bless our nation. Now that is the song I know back to front.
Right.
Now, that's
No,
Lord,
that's your song.
no, that's Lord Baker.
That's Lord Baker.
Yeah.
Ah,
That one
okay.
is God bless our nation.
Right.
Now my classic now that was made popular through the scouting days because I use it as a theme song every week.
That's right.
Come discover one of us. Come discover both of us. And the wine and the come and discover.
Whose song is that?
That is my own. That is the
Oh,
one.
that one is
Yes.
yours. Now, Baker,
Yes.
you
So
don't know
come-
what you have just done. You have literally helped thousands of persons
Yes.
to understand
Yes.
the difference between those two songs
Yes.
and also Come Let Me Go Tobago.
Yes. Yes.
I'm telling you, you have
And
just
listen to me.
cleared that up.
One of the serious mistakes a lot of people make is that they do not know the right title of the song. The name of the song, Come, let me go to Tobago.
Right.
It is Lord Kitchener's song. And the name of the song is Ode to Tobago.
Ode to Tobago.
Yes. And if you listen to the melody, ba-da-da-da-da-dum,
Yes.
ba-di-da-dum, that's Kitchener.
Yes,
Kitchener was
yes,
a bassist,
yes,
and he knows
yes,
music.
yes.
Ba-di-da-dum,
But this is so good that you've cleared up at least 4 great songs there. Let's talk about controversial songs.
Yeah.
A good working
Old thing.
old thing.
Better than a young thing.
Better than young.
Anytime.
What's that song about? I mean,
Listen to me though. Be careful. You could get your head bounce because it's a good working Not an old thing, a good working old thing.
Right. A good working old thing.
Yes, it has to be. If it's not a good working old thing, don't go in that song.
So, but this is about car.
I came from the countryside one day. I love American cars. I had a left-hand Oldsmobile from Canada, where actually I just sell it for about, $16,000, I think. Them days, cars was $30,000. You pay 3 years for the car, you can't get it. You pay the full price and you can't get your car in them early days. So. And I had that car, Palos. And coming from the countryside one day, the car spoke wheel. The man at the car parked up the garage. The car, he old, maybe 15 years old at the time, but it's pick and spunk and real nice car. Inside was velvet seats and then I left and drive. So and then I drive on the side where all the girls and boys are, The passenger here on the outside, car couldn't key up. So here on the outside. And you left and drive, you right on the inside, you're taking the corners very nicely.
Yes.
And this roadhog comes along, pop, boy, cause you out of that whole thing now. And then I tell him, I said, boy, this old thing, better than a new thing you have there.
Yeah.
By the time I was going from Charlottesville supervising Lanka, by the time I reached Torbay, the song was made.
Oh my
I go to work in old thing, better than a young thing, anytime. I go to work in old thing, better than a new thing, anytime. He don't fuss, he don't rust, he don't greet you with disgust. He don't swell, he don't tell, and darling is grateful like hell. It's a car, but you don't twist it around, so you have a different pattern.
Baker, I want to thank you a lot for this. I know we could talk for
much
3
more we
hours
could talk about
with all kinds of stuff.
Yes and yes.
But for our program, I really want to thank you for being with us today and TobagoConnect. And I really, really appreciated the information you gave us. I feel as though we have so much content, we might have to split this one show into several pieces. Because, but I think our listeners and our viewers certainly got an appreciation of Michael Baker, the entertainer, from right here in Tobago. I want to thank you, Michael. And you've been viewing TobagoConnect. Today, our very, very special guest, Mr. Michael Baker, or Baker as we call him, the consummate entertainer. And today was really, 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 I enjoyed this immensely. And looking forward, of course, to seeing you in our next program of TobagoConnect. Good evening.
Good evening and welcome to another segment of Survivors. I'm your host, Natiala Arnold. Again with me, I have Miss Joy McPherson. I'm sure most of you would remember her from the last time she was here. School psychologist with the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy. Miss McPherson, it's great to have you on the show again.
It's good to be back with you again.
All right, last time you were here, we discussed COVID-19 and the child or the children and their education. So today we are back to discuss COVID-19, education and the parents. And this is such a great, or I think a phenomenal thing that we need to speak about, because a lot of parents was sort of more or less just thrown into this new role, whereas before they would have been there just for guidance or added support to help the children. Now many of us have been thrown into the role of teachers, which is almost an impossible task. As a parent myself, I have to say kudos to all the hardworking and genuine teachers that are out there. And I say genuine because, of course, we have to be real. We are in a society where a lot of people get into professions, not really because of any deep love or appreciation for it, but, but for those, all our hardworking teachers, and they are hardworking teachers, I really say hats off to you, because teaching, it takes us special type of human being to
be
choose
a
teaching
teacher.
as a profession.
You are right. I do agree with you. We do have to thank our teachers. They have been really selfless, and some of them have worked tirelessly with our children, and we must really do say thank you to them, because now we're getting a view of what they do and what they're faced with. And it is challenging to be a teacher in this time, and I must say, in terms of us as parents, doing what they would have done in the classroom really does give us an appreciation for what they do.
Yes, I'm telling you, because I am now having to, more or less sort of teach my 3 kids because they are no longer able to be in school physically. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, Miss McPherson, I want to pull my hair out. I'm like, these children, these are my children. And
It's real. It's real. It's a real struggle that our parents are having. And you said you have 3 children.
And they're all at 3 different levels.
And sometimes we have parents who have more children. So what you're speaking of there is a reality a lot of our parents are facing. I think for us, just as we give kudos to teachers, I think we need to give kudos to parents, because a lot of parents have stepped up to the plate. And this is not a matter of telling parents they got it right or wrong, but just the fact that they're there with their children. They're there supporting, they're there handing in projects and, helping. It has not been an easy road, because as again, we would have spoken about the whole getting ready for this pandemic that the world was not really ready for, and being thrown into a role that you now have to take up and run with. Put that aside, what about our parents who are not working and having the financial strain, because you still need to keep a roof over your children's head, you need to still feed them, you still need to clothe them, you still have your bills. So there's so many things that our parents have been tasked with over the last year and a half. And when you add the role of teacher to it, it has been a difficult role. But we've had parents who, I think, with the support of most of their schools and their teachers really working together, have been helping their children. Right, and I must applaud those.
Right, and you did mention there, some of the challenges that parents have to face naturally, and we're not even talking about the teaching aspect, because that was going to be my question. You have parents who are struggling, particularly financially. All the other areas, emotionally, mentally, physically, but financially, I think most parents took a serious hit, with the pandemic, because not all may have been in positions where they can
continue working,
work, or work remotely,
work from home,
work at home, or stuff like that. A lot of parents, perhaps work had to close entirely.
Yes.
I myself was one of those parents. I used to do daycaring with my aunt, and since last year, March, daycares have had to shut down, and we still haven't reopened as yet, and it's not looking like it's going to be opening, any time.
And still with some restrictions.
Right, even if we do get the chance.
I think, Natiela, the reality of what our parents are facing, I think we sometimes have to step back and look at what they're going through. As I mentioned before, financially. And you have that emotional aspect of it, because now you have your children in your grasp. You have to say 24 hours. So whereas they would have gone out and they might have burnt some energy somewhere else, they're with you. So now you have to now, as a parent, be so observant of your children, knowing them when behaviors have changed, when the emotions are all over the place and they want to act in a way that they don't normally act, but you still have to read them, because they're going through their own as we discussed before,
Mm-hmm.
their own frustrations
Changes.
and being overwhelmed. So you have that aspect. You're talking about the psychological aspect of it. As you said, wanting to tear your hair out because the pressure is so much on you. And sometimes as parents, we doubt ourselves that we could do
That
it.
we can do it. Yes.
Right? And for me, if I'm to talk to a parent today, is don't beat yourself up. What parents have to do is reassess the role that they play in their children's education. We always wanted as teachers to have parents be a part of, work with us. Now you have to do it in a different way. My encouragement to parents is that when we have reopened school, don't just let it go. Be right there. Still be there. You may not have to teach, but still be present.
Right. Now, it's interesting enough that you said that, because I'm thinking, Miss Macpherson, for the parents who are not as, what is the correct word to use here? As not as educated, or maybe lack that creativity in dealing
With their
children. And I go back to myself as an example, because I am one who struggles with these things. Right now, I may be educated to a certain extent, but would you believe that sometimes, look, I have a daughter who is in standard 4, preparing to do get into the SEA class, and sometimes she comes with work for me, and I am at a loss.
Yeah.
I have to ask her, what is an adjective again?
We have to remind ourselves.
What is a proper noun again? The basic foundation.
Yes. And the thing is about Natalia, it's not that we don't know it, but we've come so far. We've been far.
Yes,
we haven't been using
that. We haven't been
so we have to
using that.
remind ourselves what they are. And I think sometimes for me, in my case, I have a second year student in my home, and I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that. Why did I forget that? But it reminds us of the things that we learned when we were their age. But it also gives us an opportunity to really say to someone, you're never too old to learn. Right? And in terms of those persons who may be having educational challenges, because you may not have been educated or don't know what is the content of what the child might be doing, this is where I would always advocate for having that communication with your teacher, right? Again, we're working together, and even when we were going back into the physical classroom, don't just take your hands off, right? But sometimes you have to reach out to the teacher. How can I help? It may call for having the teacher, if they can, do a little one-on-one to explain something for your child. This is where, as a parent, when you do have, and I understand when you said, because some people don't always have the support, but this is where you call on your cousin or your sister who knows a little bit more about it to help. So this is where you pull the network together, right? This is where, instead of us searching through Facebook and Instagram as adults, go on Google.
Yes.
Let's check Google. Let's see how Google does that question.
Or maybe even YouTube.
Or YouTube. And sit down with your child. I mean, we have got to be creative in this day, because our children, they're going to leave us behind.
Yeah, that's
right.
the thing.
So we have to get creative in how we can help them.
And another challenge that we have that we've had is sometimes the work, apart from you not remembering or maybe not familiar, sometimes the method to the work has changed completely.
Yeah.
Like I remember, instance, my daughter came, she wanted to do long multiplication, and they were using this butterfly method. Up to this day,
you can't
I have no inkling
what is the butterfly
what
method?
is this butterfly method. I cannot apply that butterfly method to this long division. Sweetheart, long multiplication. I have to teach you how I know it. And I know that may create some conflict and confusion, especially when she returns to school. But mommy, that is not how Miss. That is not how Miss teaches.
That is what I was about to tell you. you are mommy, that's Miss, and how Miss teaches it is the right way. Now, again, this is where I would advocate for communication in terms of, even if you had to have a simple conversation with the teacher, Miss, I don't understand this method, and even if Miss was to give you a resource that you could use, or Miss would say, okay, whatever method you know that, even though I know she knows how to do it and we could always work on it when she comes back, that's the conversation. Mm-hmm. We don't have to make it so abstract that we remove ourselves and we all on that island of our own. I don't think COVID did that to us. We need to realize we're not an island, mm-hmm. and we depend on each other, and we have to depend on each other for our children's educational success. Mm-hmm. Right? That's the only way it's going to work. Mm-hmm. All right? So I think in terms of that, when we work along with our teachers, we could help our children in a better place.
So I want to take this conversation in a total different direction, but we're still dealing with parents and education. Now, during this COVID period, we have a situation where our children, have more or less in our space 24/7. Now, during the school season, and I say school season when they usually go out to school, a lot of us parents, particularly mommies, mm-hmm. we use that as our relaxation moment, our free time. Yeah. Now, we no longer have free time. Mm-hmm. These children are there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And snack. Don't forget the snack.
And snacks in between. And with that, they drive us crazy. So I guess the question I want to ask is, how do we as parents, as much as we may love our children and we care for them and we want to help them education-wise, but at the same time, we need to maintain our sanity. Because, you have all the other pressures dealing with COVID, mm-hmm. and then now having to deal, and then of course, you have situations where all of us may not even have the big space to say, well, they can be in their corner and I can be mine, and we could still relatively relate.
It is understandable, and one of the things in my profession, we talk about is self-care, and it's important that parents take care of themselves, because if you don't take care of yourselves, you are not going to be able to adequately take care of your children. Mm-hmm. One of the things we need to do is that to be able to spend time with our children, mm-hmm. doing fun things. It shouldn't be me saying, go do this, go do that, go pick up your book. It should be, come, let's play a game. Let's go watch a movie together. Let's do something together, something that will be fun, mm-hmm. so that you could relax, so that they could relax. It also gives you an opportunity, again, to know our children, especially when these children start to get a little to that teenager, mm-hmm. they're kind of hard to, mm-hmm. get to know. But it's important because you want to build our relationships and we want to get to know them again. Again, I said sometimes we don't give children a lot of credit, mm-hmm. for understanding. And trust me, even if it means it's 5-10 minutes that you just need to center yourself, mm-hmm. your alone time, talking to your children. Mommy just needs 5-10 minutes. You might be hearing them, but you had to shut them out a little bit. Mommy just needs about 10 minutes to gather herself together. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just you calming down, just relaxing, just breathing, mm-hmm. so that you could find your center and just be calm. Mm-hmm. Because when you go back outside, you have to probably break up World War III. Right. But it is a reality of what mm-hmm. we live with. But you have to take care and find the nice little ways of taking care of yourself. And part of that might be bonding with your children in a fun way. Mm-hmm. Right? So whereas you have to take the time, do something fun.
Well, Ms. McPherson, if you are a single parent like myself with 3 young children, mm-hmm. I think the most free time I get is probably when they go to sleep. At night, mm-hmm. I get a free moment, because once they are up, you have there's nothing like you time, even to the toilet.
They're behind. Right.
And
that's what I'm saying about being creative.
They always want.
That's what I'm talking about, being creative.
They always want a moment.
Even when it's time when they're down, you have to utilize that time for you to calm down.
Sleep time is my relaxation.
You calm
time.
down.
That's when I take time.
So
once they are up, they keep going.
Because you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah,
you have to take care
definitely.
of yourself.
Right? So, one of the things that I was thinking about, pondering about in my mind, I say I have it so hard, as a parent, and particularly a single parent, not having really that support or that support system to help deal with these children. And now this pandemic has, sort of kind of just driven that point home a bit more. And I was thinking, my children are relatively normal, relatively okay, healthy children. And I have such a hard time dealing with them. And it got me thinking, in everything we really ought to give thanks and be grateful. Because then I started thinking now, what about those children who have special needs? Those children who may be suffering from autism, dyslexia, children who can't hear properly, who can't see, who probably, a little slow, and all these different things.
It's a reality.
And then I started to realize that I really shouldn't even complain. I have nothing to complain about because my children, they're okay.
Yes.
Even though it's a struggle, they're okay. But
okay.
There are parents who have children with
special needs.
With special problems.
Yes, with special needs. And it is a reality that we have to face, not just for their education, but even in their daily life and, their functional ability. Because now, whereas some of these children might have been in a school, a special school, and says also they would have been learning particular things. Now you as a parent realizing I have to still teach my child certain skills. It's not just for them to go out and live on their own, but just to function. Sometimes even just to function within the household. Again, I am asking our parents, be creative. There are a number of things online on YouTube, on Google, to see some of the things that you can utilize. Because again, if you may be able to talk with the teacher that was working with your child, or a therapist that was working with your child, but now you can't take the child. So these are where you learn some of the techniques that you can use and work with your child, because that child, at the end of the day, is your child. So you have to make an effort in working along with the child in order to build some of the skills. And it's okay. Our children come in all kind of shapes, sizes, and intellectual ability. So that's okay. That's okay.
Right. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was, while I was thinking about the special needs, I also got to thinking about parents who have to deal with more than one child. And not just more than one child, but more than one child at a different level. I myself also fall into this category because I have a standard 4 who's going into standard 5, then I have a second year who's getting ready to first year, and then I have a toddler who is getting ready for first year. And one of the challenges that I would have had dealing with this is that, all right, the standard 4, she, praise God, can work independently. Sometimes I have to be a little, behind her, but more or less she can handle her own. Every now and again she may need me to, Mommy, I don't understand this. Or, Mommy, help me spell this word. You still have to help her along the way, but it's not as in-depth. But the second year, I have to be there more or less, hands and foot with him. Because he's he's now learning to read.
It's foundation.
It's
a lot of foundation.
So it's a lot of foundation work, and you find that the demand for you is more necessary there. And sometimes in dealing with him, it takes up
a lot of your time.
Majority of the day. And what you find now is that the toddler has been left behind. I have no time now left to deal with him. Because by the time I'm finished with the second year, now I still have to take off the teacher hat and put on back the mommy hat and go and attend to different things in the house and whatnot.
And all the different needs
of
that
the
come
family.
with a parent.
Right.
And I understand you, Natiela. And the thing about it is that we have to be very wise in how we do things. You said something before that you realize that you learn to be grateful for what you have, and you know how your children are growing and how they're functioning. And that's one of the things that you have to be grateful for. You have a standard 4 student who could work independently. Probably need a little
assistant
right?
from time to time.
Okay, so you've maxed that out. You have a second year. You need to be there. I know that firsthand. You need to be there because it's not a matter of them just doing the work. You have to be able to be there to hear what the teacher's saying, to know what the teacher's doing. So when the live feed has gone down, you have to now sit with this child in order to do certain things. The good thing about the thing, especially like the toddler, is that they learn vicariously as they go along. They pick up things along the way, and ideally, at that age, they weren't meant to. And I know, they were not meant to sit down and do at that point. So it's not, again, me assuring you, not having to beat yourself up, because there's no teacher that's going to be teaching standard 4, second year, and first year. There's no teacher that's going to be doing that in any school. Right? So for parents, is that you have to prioritize the needs of your children and you work around them. Right? Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, it
Don't
gets.
beat yourself up.
Well, I mean,
because it could get overwhelming.
It gets overwhelming
It
sometimes because I think that because I'm telling myself that during this holiday period coming up, thank God, I am going to put in some work with him now that the other two have finished.
And you can do that.
And they are on their rest time. I'm going to focus more on him now.
Yeah.
And one of the things that has worked for me, thank God, but it's still going to come back into another question because not all of us would have that support. Now, I have a sister who is really good with the children. When I say really good, like if I had to say she is hands down the better teacher. She has the patience, she has the creativity, she has, she's just really, really good with them. And so I enlisted her. I said, Aliyah, help me come up with a program, a curriculum that we could work with Agapeo, that's my youngest, to help him over this summer. And she already gets into a mode. She called me and she was like, I've been thinking, Tila, that's what she calls me for short. We can do this and we can do that. So you just need to get this and just need to get that.
So and
we're going to organize something.
So you have your resource.
And I was so relieved. I felt like, because for most of not even just most, but for practically this year, I was kind of more or less doing it on my own because she's in UE studying, she's doing doctoring. So, there's a lot of demand on her. So she was not able to be there this year as much as she was last year, which was a great help.
Yes.
So I was suffering and struggling with that. So when she told me that she was able to help me now, because she's coming up to a close, they're closing for the summer vacation as well.
So she'd have
she'd be able, to facilitate me a little bit. And I felt relieved.
And that's the thing. Some of us are fortunate enough to have familial support, right? And I would encourage any parent that's listening, reach out to that familial support that you have. Some of us may not have that, but there are other networks around. It may be a friend. It may be the same teacher that you may miss. Is there anything I can work with him during the holiday? Can I do something? Because we already have that tendency around the July, August to lose some of what we've learned because our children may not be engaged in any type of learning. This is where, again, I said parents have to reassess their role in their children's education. So this vacation may not be all about running around in the yard playing all day. It may need to involve some work that you would do, some interim. Let them have fun. Don't get me wrong. They are children, they need to run, they need to play, they need to have fun. So they can do that. But they need to also know there's some time that needs work. So as a parent, lean on the network that you may have. It may be slim, but lean on the network that you have. Whether it's a family, a friend, a cousin, a sister, someone, or somebody within your school network. It may be the teacher. Lean on whatever supports that you have so that you can help your child, especially during the holiday.
That will definitely help but for those who don't have, I always believe that Google or YouTube is the next best thing. Google particularly is the next best thing after God. I always say that Google is the next best thing after God. You can find some way or some medium of helping. And I think as much as the holidays are coming up, yes, and we want to breathe, because I myself, I am just like deep breath.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that the school term has
It's
finally
over.
come to an end.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am mindful, particularly
With
that
the
this
younger
younger one, you know, has not really gotten much during the school term because I was so taken up with the others.
Yeah.
That now, for this period of time, I definitely have to look into getting some work done with
Yeah.
him, because he needs
And I
it.
think it's more so not even so much work, but just getting him ready for teaching.
Yes.
Because remember, again, at that age, run, play is normal. They run, they play, and that's how they learn. So it's not a matter of putting him sit down and this, just preparing him to get into that mode.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know, some of the basic things that he would have picked up to into school.
Right.
To our parents, thank you. First, again, let me say thank you. You have stepped up. You have done what was required of you.
Mhm.
I know most of you have done that. Don't give up on your children. Don't give up on them. Continue to support them through their educational life. From the youngest, as I said, to the oldest. Just continue to be there for them. When you need help, please reach out. Ask for help. It may be just talking to someone. It may just be venting. Take care of yourself, as little as that may seem to be, but take care of yourself so that you will be well enough to take care of your children.
Yes.
And I pray that God continues to help you.
And just to piggyback off of what you said, remember that we are all in this together. All right? Again, lovely having you on the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And that brings us to the end of another segment of Survivors. Of course, you know, this show is about surviving throughout whatever difficult times or tribulations one may be going through. And right now we know that this COVID pandemic is definitely something that affects all of us. But just continue to hold on, continue to be strong, and we are going to get through this. Again, I say thank you and good night.